Welcome to another edition of Talk City Greensboro, produced by GTN, featuring interviews and events happening around town. It's an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go. Subscribe to Talk City on iTunes, Pandora, or SoundCloud so you can keep up with what is going on in Greensboro city government and beyond. As always, I enjoy being your host for today, and we will talk about one of my favorite subjects, dealing with, it's kind of talking about East Greensboro. That's one of my favorite subjects is East Greensboro. But there's a need in Greensboro, but particularly in East Greensboro, that we're going to kind of talk about addressing here today. So, and that need I'm speaking of is, we have a large, I think the third largest school system in the state, if not the second, but nearly 70,000 students, much of whom reside right here in the Gate City. And there's a need for school supplies, and it's always ever present. There's always a need. Some organization coming around, let's do a back to school event. There's one this Saturday that we're going to talk about. And 22% of all the people living in the Gate City live below the federal poverty line, that threshold. And 1 out of every 3 of that number are children. And this means families, which include children, have to make life work on budgets of around $15,000 a year if you're an individual. And if you're a family of 4, we're looking at $31,000 a year you have to live off of. So certain things can fall by the wayside where you'll need a little help. And that little help can go a long way. I used to teach, and so I've seen it go a long way. And so we got some folks here that's going to talk about alleviating that problem and how we can provide that help in those areas of need. And I got some stats that we can talk about later about the zip codes that are most affected. But Al Barnett with the North Carolina African Services Coalition and Rena Comer with the Caribbean Crusade for Christ Worldwide are here to join us and talk about an event coming up this Saturday. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us. And Rena Comer with Caribbean Crusade for Christ. And we are here together, and I will talk a little bit more about his organization as well. And we are partnering this year. This is our third, meaning Caribbean Crusade for Christ Worldwide. This is our third annual back to school event. And this year we partnered with North Carolina African Services Coalition. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so we are partnering because that is our mission with Caribbean Crusade for Christ, is really a collaboration of coming with other organizations to partner and impact other families, whether it's children, whether it's families, whether it's individuals, so that we can touch communities and help them to meet their basic needs, whether it's holistically, whether it's through faith-based classes, whether it is through back to school, whether it's through health screenings, health fairs. Mm-hmm. But there are many other things that we do together and partner, because that's what outreach is really partnering with others to reach an extensive part of the community.
So you do more than just this. This
Absolutely.
is just one of your staple events.
Yes, sir.
All right. And how's it been going for the past 2 years? How's it been?
It has been really good. We have had at least 200 people each time that came out. And especially with our health fairs, we joined with Cone Home Equity, where we had about 800 individuals that came out and about 80 vendors about two Saturdays ago. So we partner with all of those organizations to really touch and impact the community.
So, Mr. Barnett, let me ask you this. What is it about, or what's the drive with the North Carolina African Services Coalition that you said this is a good idea, this is a good coalition partnership?
Well, for those who don't know, North Carolina African Services Coalition has been in Greensboro now close to 30 years. And they started as a grassroots organization to assist those that were transitioning from African-speaking countries.
Okay.
And so we have now become a 501c3. We now help resettle. We're one of the few total resettlement agencies across the country that help individuals from Afghanistan, Ukraine, South America, and obviously those that are from the African countries as well. And so our goal is to help them become self-sufficient.
Okay.
My role as a youth services coordinator, I help those that fall in the range of 15 to 24. So we have a large number that aspire to receive 2-year or 4-year degrees. Maybe they want to join the military or job corps. So we assist them so that they can become leaders in their community.
This is statewide?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is statewide. So our grant allows us to impact those within a 100-mile radius. So we're located 10th floor, downtown self-help building, and we have a 100-mile radius that we impact those students that want to become leaders in their community through education.
You located here?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were in Raleigh or not.
Oh, no. We're
so right here
downtown
in Gate City.
Greensboro. 10th floor self-help.
Gotcha. That's good to know. I'm
Yeah.
ashamed to say I didn't know
Oh,
that.
that's okay. And so one of the things that, we've been partnering with Junior Achievement, Reading
Right.
Connections, the Guilford County school system. We've also reached out to Alamance County, GTCC, so A&T, Guilford College. So we have a lot of UNCG. So we partner with a lot of organizations to help our students that have an interest in becoming doctors, attorneys, nurses, so you name it. We are there to assist them so that they can become self-sufficient.
Well, I'm glad you're out there and you assist in many ways. But Rena, I wanted to read this to you. I was looking up some stats. This comes from the United Way of Greensboro. But in Greensboro, 22% of all the people living in Greensboro live below the federal poverty threshold, as I mentioned earlier. Those zip codes are primarily 401, 27401, 27405, 406, 409, and 27407. And then I pulled some more stats. Those happen to be the largest, most populated zip codes in the city of Greensboro, and they're the greatest affected by poverty. So there's many ways that you talked about, you and the North Carolina African Services Coalition, about helping people. You talked about holistically and faith-based. So how does the back to school drive, and when you live in poverty, I used to teach, it affects your education. You can't, if you're hungry, you're not going to learn. And if you can't get school supplies, you're going to feel like you're not fitting in, or it might be a shame. Different things like that. So how are you using this back to school giveaway to support the community and get some of these numbers down?
Okay. One of the ways is in our partnership, we joined together to not only give a backpack back, but we put supplies in them. So we have the pencils, the different things from K through 12 that will be available to them. But to me, as a caveat with that, we've joined in with having health screenings. And with those health screenings, Al just spoke about the different types of languages, the different types of population that they serve. This year, one of the nurses from North Carolina A&T that will be one of the vendors there with us as well, they will be printing out in different languages some of the brochures for the individuals to take with. So how it will impact, it will help them at least get through this part. And the goal for our organization as a nonprofit as well is not just to now do it with back to school, but one of our goals is to do it throughout the year.
Right.
Because sometimes the kids need more than that. This is just the beginning. What about January? What about March? You as a teacher yourself, an educator, can understand the need throughout the year. And this is just one part of the impact.
And there's so many educators that take on this cost on their own out of the teacher's pocket. So this can help alleviate that, or a family, this might be a family needing to buy for 3 kids. And if you can get some support in this way, it eases that burden a lot.
Correct.
Yeah.
And which means you can't just give away stuff all the time, right, Mr.
Right.
Barnett?
Right.
You have to have somebody supporting you. So how does that work? How can, kind of, not asking how do we donate, but where do you get your support from? How
Great
can
question.
people help?
Well, Greensboro has over 50,000 college students, and they have been an absolutely phenomenal resource to pull from. So UNCG, A&T, Bennett College, Guilford College, we partnered with their students. Could be sororities, fraternities. We're working on a partnership with the Mr. A&T and his court, and so they serve as mentors. They help us in raising money to give gift certificates to kids so that they can purchase perhaps tennis shoes, or sometimes it's food or clothing. Sometimes they provide resources for field trips. The biggest thing is mentorship.
Gotcha.
Again, when you see someone that looks like you, that may have been in your shoes, are successful, then that inspires, that motivates them. So again, I'm a graduate of A&T, so I can speak
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
Okay.
So A&T has over 70 some different countries represented on their campus alone,
didn't know
and so
that.
many of them are products of immigrants or refugees, and so they've been in these shoes, and many of them speak the language of many of our scholars, and so bringing them to the table as a mentorship has been a great partnership for us.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And I'll share with y'all off mic. I only think about these type of things when it's put in my face. But what if I pre-prepared for some of this. Talk to us about how we can, as a community, remain cognizant of the issue, and maybe throughout the year, prepare to support efforts like this.
One of the things is also looking through with education. When you look at the news too, a lot of times, not just news too, but the news as well.
Right.
Right. When you look at the news as well, it does also give the needs of the individuals. You all also have the Board of Chambers, the chamber, and that also lists things that are happening, some of the needs that are going on in the community. And sometimes the private organizations are the ones that really have that need as well. They don't get the grant money per se, because maybe they don't always have the numbers or they don't have the wideness of the community. But Boys and Girls Club, just going out there yourself, boots on the ground sometimes is what it's going to take, and not just waiting for the information to come to you, but sometimes looking up those organizations, see how you want to volunteer. Not only just the United Way, yes, but there's also some other small organizations that have that need.
I'm gonna get you out of here on a couple of questions. I'm gonna come to you in a minute, but I want to put it in your mind about any targets or goals you're trying to reach in the upcoming weeks. But let me ask you this, Rena Comer. I'm talking with Rena Comer with Caribbean Crusade for Christ Worldwide, as well as Al Barnett with the North Carolina African Services Coalition. But Rena, are you the founder?
I am the founder. I founded this in 2010.
2010. In 60 seconds, you might have a little preaching in you too, so I'm at to, in 45 seconds. What did you see that made you say, I want to start this?
Originally, it really started because I'm from the Caribbean. A lot of people ask that question. Well, you're in it, But the thing is, I saw the need in my own city, country, area where storms came and different things came. And the passion just to go out in the community is actually a legacy in my own family as well.
Okay.
We go out and do a lot of community stuff at home in the Virgin Islands. So as I grew up, went to A&T, came here, I also saw the need here. So it's not just a need for where you're from, but the need in the local community that you're living in. And that was the passion that I had. And so 2010, it just went. And it wasn't just the supplies of the physical need, but for us, it was also the spiritual and the holistic need. Because there's a lot of mental challenges that go on today in the school with the children, and they also need that help as well.
All right. Well, thank you for doing that.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Barnett, let's close this out with a couple more. You have the giveaway. When you're preparing for this, are there any goals, or even if it's outside of, I want to give away 500 bags, is I want to touch this many lives, or I want to get this information out to this many people? What are the goals and targets, if any?
That's a good question. I think that our goals when it comes to people, whether it's 300, 500 that come through, are a little bit lesser. Our main focus is the type of impact that we make long term. We know those that are of a certain socioeconomic status tend to live longer and a higher quality of life. So what we are looking to do with this event as well is to connect everyone who comes to our event to the various community resources that can help them move them and their family to the next level. So within our organization, there are individuals who may become employed, but then after a while, we want to try to step them up.
Okay.
Yeah, and then obviously we're starting with the young to make sure that they understand the importance of education and what it does to their levels of income that they're able to achieve.
All right.
We have a number of different phenomenal nonprofits here in this area. Obviously, we talk about Caribbean Crusade for Christ, but there are others as well that we can connect them to, so that they have the necessary resources to stay encouraged and stay motivated. And so we want to be able to connect them with all those community resources. And we also have groups that serve as what we call community partners or support groups. It could be fraternities, sororities, or different groups, and they come together and support a family.
Okay.
And that's the type of support that is ongoing. It could be 2, 3, 4 years of support family that will periodically check in along with us to make sure that the family is doing well. And again, the goal is to make them self-sufficient.
Understood. All right. And just to support what you said, Cone Health, one of the major employers here, been here quite some time. Started that 5 and 5 initiative. I don't want to butcher the name of it, but essentially in East Greensboro, folks live 5 years less than their counterparts in other zip codes because of the socioeconomic status and the things that go around that. So you're really changing lives or saving lives and doing this work. So it's nothing to play with.
Yeah.
And so we need to have ongoing support and have people attend and visually show their support for things like this. So I'll start with you, Rena. How can we support? What do you have going on in the future? And let us know how we can stay abreast of what's going on. I'm talking websites, social media handles, things like that.
Well, the website is CaribbeanCrusadeForChrist.com.
Okay.
In addition to that, our next thing coming up, we do have some holistic classes on September 13th. That is on Eventbrite, where you can register for that. It's a holistic approach to your well-being, or what those sessions really talk about. So that's the next thing coming up. And then we normally do some outreach in November. So that'll be on our website to be more specific about where we're going to go. But we do hit boots on ground, get in the community. But one thing I did not mention that I wanted to mention in this giveaway with our partnership on Saturday is that we are having health screenings. And the health screenings are really important for the children going back to school. And they will also have an opportunity to help the children as well. You're going to have vision, AC1, blood pressure. We're going to give away toothbrushes, toothpaste, things that they will need as well throughout the year that will be essential. And then I think the last thing that I think is really important is that the nurses said that they will go ahead and give a card if their readings are above the norm. They will give that card to them to give to their primary care holder, primary care person to take care of.
You know, and I would be a terrible host if I didn't remember to ask this question.
What's that?
Where is it taking place and when?
It is taking place at 2240 East Cone Boulevard. It's the school called Guilford Preparatory Academy. And I just want to give a shout out to them. They have been exceptionally very kind to us in regards to donating that building and giving an opportunity for us to even host family-focused prayer every month. They have given us that option at no cost to us. We have to say no cost to us because there's also a cost for them, right?
Right.
Electricity, light, and everything else. But they have been so generous to us, and a shout out to them. But it'll be at 2240 East Cone Boulevard from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah, I think I told you. That's where I started teaching.
That's when you started
Was
teaching.
at Guilford Prep. Yeah.
Okay.
And Mr. Barnett, the North Carolina African Services Coalition, how can we stay abreast with what you all have going on?
Well, our website is a great source of information. So it's
Okay.
North Carolina African Services Coalition. That's North Carolina African Services Coalition. You can Google that, and there's a list of upcoming events. You can also sign up for our newsletter, which is a phenomenal way to keep track of what we're doing. We are partnering with a number of different ministries as well that serve as support groups, and we have a toy drive coming up, and we give away toys this year. I think it's going to be the third week of December.
Okay.
So that date will be announced within the next probably week or two, and so we partner with Toys for Tots to pull that
Gotcha.
off as well. As Rena indicated, we are a collaboration of other organizations to help, again, deepen the impact that we're able to make.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, hey, thank you all for
Thank
being here in the community doing what you do. And thank you for participating and joining us here on Talk City Greensboro today.
Thank you for having
Sounds
me.
great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you to Al Barnett with the North Carolina African Services Coalition and Rena Comer with Caribbean Crusade for Christ Worldwide here on Talk City. Thank you to our listeners out there. Stay tuned in weekly by subscribing to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Pandora, and don't forget you can download Talk City from SoundCloud. That's it for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Talk City. Be sure to watch GTN, your official source for news and information about the city of Greensboro. GTN is available on Spectrum Channel 13, AT&T UVerse Channel 99, and Lumos 31. GTN also streams live on Roku and the city's website at greensboro-nc.gov.